Hello everyone, welcome to another supply drop. It's an unboxing for Great War Commander. What I want to do first is thank the folks at Hexasim for sending this so we could do an unboxing and do videos and things like that. So thank you all for that. So Great War Commander, this is maybe, well, I guess a child of like Combat Commander Europe, Combat Commander Pacific, and Hexasim. I think they have some kind of working relationship with like GMT Games, because GMT has like a website that has Hexasim games on it, and I think that made it easy for them to take that Combat Commander system and make a World War I type of version. Okay, so my wife is here and I can tell she's ready to open this. She wants to unbox this. I brought my wife because I've seen other people have their wife help unbox, and I thought, well, my wife can help too. So, well, first you have to show them the back of the box. Now, when we got this today, it came in the mail, and I opened it up, and it was packaged fantastically, but it wasn't shrink wrapped. So, this is already open for us to share. Got 3 decks of cards. Looks like you got the French, you got the Germans. I think it says Deutschland on it, and USA, well, according to this. Alright, sample artwork of everything. Solitaire complexity is horrible, but doable, because we already did a video on solo ability-ableness of, say, Combat Commander Europe. Okay, here we go. And that's what we have so far. 3 decks of cards. Okay, well, you can unopen those. Unopen? I guess if you put them back in the box, put them back in the seal. Okay, you can open those. Alright, we have here playbook. We'll get her to talk in a moment. She's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I will ask her questions in a moment. So now, you do, you have to. How else can this be a cooperative thing? Your hands are a good help. All right, so here we've got the playbook. Now, no snares. I think snares are going to be separate, I'm assuming, at some point.
So I shuffle all these together, right?
No, now you're being silly. She knows better. She actually, the reason why I'm having her help with this is because she actually helped me learn Combat Commander Europe, Combat Commander Pacific. So I'd read the rules and I'd make her play, and then as I made mistakes, she would go to the book and the rule book and clarify. So this I wanted her to do with me because it's a system she's familiar with. It's just going to be like a different era. So instead of World War II, we're at World War I. The playbook is there page numbers on that? It's 8 pages. 8 pages at the bottom. So this talks a little bit about the cards, setup. Oh, and of course a nice example of play. And the example of play is about 4 pages. So this is, oh, the random scenario generator. That's what is in here. I just saw this listed. That was always an amazing aspect. I guess I could have read the table of contents here. But that was one thing that I thoroughly enjoyed about the Combat Commander series, was you had an infinite amount of games that you could play because they had those generators. So kudos to them on that. And then the example play and design notes.
On the 3rd deck,
yes.
I found the stringy that undoes them.
Oh, okay. So you were struggling with the plastic like I usually do. I'm going to tell you something right now, and I wasn't going to say anything, but since you had a moment where you struggled opening plastic on the decks, when we opened this and we're looking at the cards, my first thought was, where are the dice?
It's card driven.
Right. Yeah. Oh, those cards look different.
Add +1 to a single roll.
Oh, we'll have to look at some of that. The only reason why it's funny, if you're not familiar with
it says die roll.
It has a die roll. Yeah, so if you're not familiar,
die roll.
The dice are built onto the cards. right there. So yeah, if you've not played it before, they're on the cards themselves. All right, so that's a playbook. Here's the rule book. Now the rule book appears a little beefier. That might not be. I felt like it might be a little beefier than say Combat Commander, but I don't have that out here. Well, this is kind of like a Combat Commander there. But Great War Commander. This is, let me tell you, I am blown away. First of all, see, I keep wanting to compare this in my mind to Combat Commander Europe. This has that nice glossy paper and it's full color. And let me just tell you, the artwork is amazing. So I'm flipping through here already. The counters look great, counter art looks amazing, and the maps look phenomenal. So you've got these nice full color examples. This is a beautiful set of rules. And looking through, a lot of this really, if you have experience with Combat Commander, Europe, Pacific, things like that, I don't think you're going to have too much trouble jumping into this. I'll have to read through because I'm sure there's going to be some differences. But this, you know, I think it just, I'm looking at a lot of words and comments and you know, you've got all your events and things like that. It's like, oh boy, I forgot how much I love this series. Terrain. One thing I like, I don't know, what do you think? It's not like just a plain white text paper. I really like kind of this parchment kind of look that they gave it. I don't know, what do you think?
So this playbook comes after the scenario sheets.
Okay, so we'll do the scenarios first. Which was in here, so there's a, what was,
Yes.
you pulled this out.
It was inside the German Order of Battle and
See that okay? Play
terrain
aid.
charts.
Yeah, so this is a, yeah, okay, so you got the German Order of Battle, which you just showed. Yeah, inside the terrain chart takes up two panels, and then the back is a fortifications chart. So this was like a folder holding all of this?
Yep, it also had the French Order of Battle and the American Order of Battle.
Okay.
And the scenarios.
Excellent. And what do we got for scenarios? Now, I really like the theme that they've got. In my mind, I don't see this type of parchment like being a World War I thing, but I think it looks really classy. So, I don't know, it's pretty nice.
They have 16 scenarios.
Oh, she's already looked. Yep, it already goes all the way to 16. I mean, we can look through, but look, they always have like a nice...
Spoil it.
Don't spoil it.
Oh, right. Sorry. Unboxing. One.
Yeah.
They're two-sided.
There you go. Gives you the map that they're on, which we'll take a look at maps here in a moment. French and German setup. So far, most of this is French versus Germans.
Trying not to get too much glare.
Oh, there's an American. French, U.S. Okay. There's some American, German. I'm curious if these are supposed to be like Marines or U.S. Army, doughboys or devil dogs. I don't know how much of a difference that would make. Alright, so here we have counters. Let me move this out for a second. I already see a sneak of the maps. That looks phenomenal. We'll pull some out in a moment here. Now we've got the counter trays. Now this is interesting. I think this is probably the first game I've seen come like a boxed game where the counters come in a nice baggie. I'm totally fine with that. They're all going to come out separated and baggied, or I might have to find some GMT trays or something.
Oh my goodness.
She's already playing with the maps. I'm just looking over there. That looks phenomenal. We're going to share you some maps in a minute. First of all, let's talk about counters. I love talking about counters. So we do have 4 counter sheets. We have an assortment of your infantry. We actually have tanks. That's new. We didn't have tanks before in Europe or the Pacific. And I've been thinking about that. I think part of the reason why we didn't have tanks before is because since these are, you know, who knows at what point of the war, what year specifically the tanks will be used here in scenarios, a lot of that was just used to carry low-powered weaponry. I'd say low-powered, but you know, it's not like the World War II tank guns and things that they had. And so, in a way, it's almost like armored machines that carried machine guns and the weapons that infantry would use. And so, when you put these on the battlefield, I don't think they're going to be overpowering versus, say, you know, if you had Tigers in the game system. So that's my guess. Is I think that the era that this is set in, the tanks won't totally dominate the battles. Obviously, they will to some point because that's what broke the stalemate of the trenches, to my understanding. But I think that they're probably more fitting because, you know, they're not going to be shooting for a kilometer or two with high-powered accuracy. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming then blue would be French, and very, very similar to what we had with, say, Combat Commander Europe Pacific. You've got your infantry counters are probably, I don't know, 9/16, the ½ inch, just over a ½ inch, and then you have probably ½ inch counter. I'm not even sure the size on those, but you've got medium-sized counters for the infantry. Then you have smaller counters for the support weapons that they have, and then you've got fairly big counters to represent tanks. Then I see a victory point, there's time, the surrender, sudden death, total attack, so you got some admin counters on here. This is nice though. Look, I was holding this, and these counters are just trying to pop right off the counter sheet. And I don't know if that can zoom in and you see some, my thumbs are all in the way, if that will focus at all. Let's see if I can do this well. They are kind of small. I'll insert a fan. Oh no, I don't have graphics. Never mind. But the artwork is amazing. The counters are coming off great. Here's the problem. This is the problem I have with most counters that I see nowadays. They come with pre-rounded corners. And that means I can't use the fancy tool that you got me because they're already pre-rounded. But the only reason why that annoys me is because it puts the nubs, I'm showing my wife, it puts the nubs where it attaches to the sprue.
In the center of the counter.
Yeah, in the center of the counter. Generally, it's not that bad. These are pretty fine, and I only see 2 nubs, so it's not like nubs all the way around.
You can file them.
She's going to file these for me, she said.
No, I said you can file them.
She said I could file them. All right, but we got some French, we got some tanks. I love the artwork. Let me see if I can pop a tank. I'm going to pop out a Renault FT. I guess FT for flamethrower. These are really nice. Is that zooming? Yeah, the artwork on these is great. And it's top down, which is fine. I don't know. I haven't looked yet to see if this is, like, if facing matters and whatnot. But these are really nice looking tanks. They're not tigers and leopards, but they're really nice. Here we got some greens. That is probably some American. Looks like a few more French. A lot more French than Americans.
Yeah, it starts with the German and the French at 1914, and the Americans join at 1918. Which is probably why you didn't see the Americans until the last few scenarios.
Okay, so the last few scenarios had the Americans come in. So it looks like they're probably close to chronological scenarios. Yep. So you got chronologically ordered scenarios. So yeah, not as many American units because they aren't as involved in the fighting here that we see in this set. I do see, it looks like trench lines. So there will be some trench fighting, which would justify needing the tanks. Then you've got here, you know, admin markers, your veteran status or suppression status. So again, nothing really different than, say, other Combat Commander games. You've got the radio operators for artillery, control markers, excuse me, so the control for German or Allied side. Alright. And then we got quite a few Germans.
Chronological.
Alright, she just checked.
August 22nd, 1914 and run to October 7th, 1918.
Awesome. So that's pretty much the span of the war for the most part. Again, I got more trenches. We got a few more support weapons, different types of machine guns. This is amazing. It's almost like if you were playing the modern day Battlefield video games for a while, and then boom, you play Battlefield World War I, and it's still just as amazing. It's just a different time period, and you still have machine guns and everything. That's what I'm feeling here. All this stuff I would expect is here. It's just going to have that World War I flavor. I even see a couple vehicles, probably spotting vehicles. Then more trenches. So it's a lot more admin type markers, and then we've got a few more Germans. So quite a bit of variety, I would assume, then, of Germans. But I wish I could show you here. The artwork on the squads is amazing. I've always really enjoyed the artwork of the other Commander games, and this is some top notch. Hexasim does some amazing artwork, and these guys look phenomenal. But yeah, map time. Let me tell you, these are some of the prettiest maps I have seen. Now,
there's 6 of them, and they're double-sided.
And are they all the same?
It looks like there's one for each scenario.
Oh, that's very cool too. All right, so what do we have on the map? I'm gonna rotate this a little bit, spin it, spin it, spin it. That doesn't spin very good. So if I just move it, yeah, I'll just move that. So just like you would have, say, in the other Commander, well, actually the other Commander games, they have a few things. You told me not to bend it. They've got a few bits of information on the map here. Mostly I'm seeing secret placement information.
That's the objectives.
Okay.
The artillery box.
Mm-hmm.
Which map it is.
Right.
Map 1. Then you have the time track and your casualty trackers and your point trackers.
And some of this information, okay, that's what I'm not seeing.
And your direction.
That's what I'm not seeing here. A lot of this information for the other games, I have to lift that.
Direction, artillery box, board number.
This was all on a separate fold out.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it had that fold out, and I could go, well, almost made me want to go get the other game. But yeah, it had a separate fold out where you tracked a lot of that information, and they had a few points on the map, but it looks like a lot of your gameplay information is going to be on the map. That's fine.
You have to zoom in on that. That's the little directional tracker.
All right,
so if you have drift, it tells you which direction to drift in.
But the last thing I want to do is zoom in and give whiplash. But is that off the camera?
Nope. It's right there.
Oh, now it's off the camera.
Off the camera.
I'm doing this from the side. There you go. She can see it better. All right. And then what is this here? This looks like the tracker for like...
Now you're way off because it's
Now
all
I'm
zoomed in here.
Oh, bring it back. What does this say right here? This is... Yeah, the firepower track. Yeah, so again, this was on a separate, but now this is on the map itself. So you just got to be careful when you play not to sneeze and blow your counters all over the place. But the artwork is phenomenal. That's what I wanted to... That's what I wanted to share and say. Share and say is now shay. This is gorgeous. I think this is some really, really good artwork. The other maps that I'm used to are a little more dull, but these look fantastic. It's clearly this is a winter map. You've got a little bit of foresty, a little bit of woods. You can see some of the pock marks from explosions here.
He speaks English good.
Yeah, it's my first language. So a little bit here. What's one of the other ones? Yeah, some of these are, yeah, grab this one.
That's not in order.
Are you doing them all in order? Is that 3?
Oh, there's number 3.
Got another idyllic village.
Some village stuff which you can't see.
I guess you could do that. Okay.
Down to the woods.
What's on the back?
This is a really beaten up battlefield.
Now that is gorgeous. Even though it's beaten up, I still think it is amazing looking. She's finding the next one. That's 4. This is the part where I should like pause and then we edit it together, but I'm not really that good at editing.
That's slow.
Not that slow.
That one's like,
it's like the
moon.
You know,
the moon.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see that on the screen very good.
Yeah, it is tore up.
And then more villages for map number 6.
Not as tore up.
Not as beaten up. And we have what helps if you put it on right. Here's 7.
Some more idyllic land. City center.
Has some glare from light.
She's gonna make you get dizzy here. Now I was
glare
looking.
Better?
I can't tell. No, it's still probably glary. I don't think these are supposed to be geomorphic. I just see the roads coming off, and my first thought was that they're geomorphic, but I think, like she said, they're tied directly to specific scenarios. So they're probably not geomorphic. They're self-contained battlefields. And another one of the moon. Yeah, even though like it's just all dark gray, but God, that is gorgeous. 2 of the moon, and they really had to outline the hills because the land is just so devastated. I wonder too if that's nighttime. I wonder if that could be like a nighttime scenario, or just the fact that it's been so bombarded, all the vegetation's gone. That was my first thought, that the land has just been so devastated that there's no green left. It's just all gone. And one more. So that's about 3 maps that are just totally devastated. And then you do got some lush. One thing I noticed too, I don't know, the hexes seem a little bit smaller than the other commander.
They're very glossy, as you can tell by the glare that I can't get rid of.
Let's see, if I put a couple on here, I guess these are pretty good size. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see here, if I got that. Yeah, oh, there's a lot of glare from there, depending on how you hold it here. Yeah, we wanted to try and eliminate gloss, but we don't have the fancy diffused lights. We don't do anything too fancy around here. But I've got two units inside a hex, and you should be able to fit 4 comfortably. I'll have to look. I don't know what stacking rules they're using. And by that, in Combat Commander Europe, you were actually limited to like, I think 7 or 8 things. So you could have like 1 full squad, a half squad, and like a leader. Then, if I remember right, in Pacific, you can have as many as you want. It's just that the cover degrades for like each person over the stack. So you could stack, but the more people you had. Oh, that was the other thing too. So with Europe, if you overstacked, you actually had to break your squad down into half squads until you had the appropriate amount of bodies that were on the counters to add up to like 7, I think. But Pacific, you didn't have to break them down. It's just that for everybody over 7, like that degraded your the defense of the terrain down. So you could store people. It's just that they were easier to hit. And I have to dig through here to see what rule set they're using as far as stacking. But it does look like you could fit in there comfortably 4 squad token or 4 squad counters, which is great. That's generally, I mean, that's pretty generous. Most games are going to fit like 2, or you have to stack them. So this is pretty nice that you get to actually lay them out.
And here on your scenario card, you have what map it is, who's on which side, and what the directional orientation the map is supposed to go for each of the different scenarios. So like scenario 13 would actually take place on this map number 12.
Is this cardstock? Those are on. Those look like cardstock.
Yeah, it's cardstock.
Like a glossy cardstock.
Like a gloss, yeah.
Yeah. Can I see one, please?
No.
Don't want to put them. No. Don't get them out of order. Yeah. Again, I think they did a really good job with the art and their decisions on this. Everything has that really cool kind of parchment, dark parchment on the outside, but then very legible. It's not dark on the inside and hard to read at all. It's just so much nicer than just the glaring white that stares at you. So I think they did a fantastic job with all of this. All the components look good. You want to look through some cards? What do we have for cards?
The Americans.
All right. She can see him just fine. This is actually a pretty good stack. Again, I would have to maybe do a comparison and see how many cards you have.
It tells you, it gives you a card at the very top, which will be at the bottom of your stack, that tells you which cards are in the deck. And then it has your order cards that tells you how many of the orders are in the deck for each of the various countries. Then it has your victory point values, your air assault type availabilities, your artillery type availabilities, your time marker advanced procedures, and these are the same but just a little different color for the various decks. So like this is the German and that's the American.
Also, I noticed the font on some of it's different too. Well, the French not so much. The German deck.
This is the German deck.
Oh, is that the German? Oh,
yeah.
I can't see from it.
In the actual card, it does have different, but
the explanation cards, no.
The explanation cards are the same. They just changed the
color.
The color of the background, so you don't get them mixed up in the deck.
Support tables.
Support tables.
Oh, initiative. That's kind of cool. I like the initiative artwork. Did you have an initiative one?
No, I had a blank one.
Yours is blank?
Mine's blank. I have no info on that one.
I guess they want you to make your own. I don't know. Interesting.
So the deck sizes were the same, so they could wrap them.
Oh, do you have Woods Fighting? It looks like I got quite a few.
This is their special cards for like adding things.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, the font is different for the different.
All right, so it looks like you do get to a point then where each one has, I guess these would be national characteristics.
The French has an initiative.
Oh, the French have an initiative. I guess they don't want the Germans unless theirs is buried. But it looks like, see, it says anti-gas strategy. All right, so we'd have to look to see how these fit in. So I don't know if these go into the draw deck or if these are separate, scenario-driven. Not sure, but we'll find that out.
Anti-gas strategy.
Oh,
different fonts.
Well, it's not going to go in the draw deck because the back clearly says strategy, and it's different than. So yeah, that's a separate deck that you get to play with. Okay.
Your strategy deck.
Yep, strategy deck. Now, I love this. Look at that. It really is paper. If you look up in the corner, I think this corner with my finger, it's like there's a little bit of worn edges. It's just so clever. So clever. Here, you can scoot that towards mine. Yeah. But the layout of the cards look exactly like what you would expect. Top has like an order, the middle is an action, then you got your event. You have the hex for where random events are marked, nationality, and then the random dice roll. And the two colors, I don't remember if the color of the dice would matter at all for certain things.
Yes, it does.
Okay, she remembers. Yes, it does. But the layout is exactly the same. That's good. That's why I'm saying if you've got experience with the system, this should not be difficult at all to pick up and go over. So we've got move, then an action for barrage. Just another thought. I think in Pacific, you could start, like it was easy to get artillery. Oh, if you drew like an artillery card, you could actually set yourself up with artillery. You didn't have to have artillery at the start of the game or wait for like a specific reinforcement. If you drew an artillery card, you could give yourself artillery or fire it. And so again, I'm curious to see what rules set kind of this follows. Europe, well, in a way, I guess that would make sense that it would follow Europe because this is Europe just a little bit earlier. But those were a couple rules I liked from the Pacific game set. I'm just looking to see what we've got here. See, and a lot of these, like the same thing, action, crossfire. We got move, the counterattacks, the event blaze with the random fires that spread, deploying troops, field promotions. So this is, I mean, gosh, I'm so excited. So I feel like we already know how to play. One thing though that I had a thought, I want to share that real quick. Yeah, this is right here, the card list. This is important because I actually read from Combat Commander Europe, there was someone, he said he played with an opponent that actually bought 2 games. I think he either bought a game and then ordered a separate set of cards from GMT, or he bought 2 base games. And what he did was he maximized the deck. So he took out all of the, so I'm trying to see if I can find one, but it was the cards that have no order. I forget what they're called. I was seeing if there was Command Confusion. He actually took all the Command Confusion cards out of the deck, and then anything else that he didn't think was very useful, and then he stuck in all of all the move and fire cards from the second decks he bought.
He cheated.
He cheated. Well, and that was the thing at first, because the rules say you can't do anything unless you draw a card. You know, the cards dictate what you do. But the loophole was that in the rules, it did not say that you could not mix and match your cards. Like there was no deck building associated with it. So the saving grace was the fact that there is a card that lists specifically what cards need to be in your deck. And believe it or not, oh, where's Command Confusion? Those are actually, oh, I thought there was a card lit. That's orders. Well, this doesn't say Command Confusion. Did your guy?
Orders. Command Confusion, there's 4 of them.
I'm looking. Oh, yeah, okay. I see it now on the actual orders. So those will help you. So if you get someone new to the system who wants to treat this like a deck builder, it's not a deck builder. There specifically are cards they're supposed to have in their deck. Well, I think that pretty much covers it. So we have, well, I'm going to have to sleeve these and store them away, because otherwise these cards are just going to be flopping around. But let's do the reverse boxing now. Cards will go last. So we have...
Yeah, there's just the 2 initiative. One's German-American and one's German-French.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So...
Yeah, you're right. I didn't notice that before. So it's got a German symbol. Yours got a German symbol there. And then either...
And they changed the color too.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay. So we got enough initiative for everybody. Neat. Alright. So we had 6 maps that were double-sided. They're I'm going to say... These are definitely paper map, but they're a glossy paper. I'm always a little bit afraid to work with a glossy paper if this is something I play a lot. Yeah, that's where the plexiglass or the poster frames that I get at Walmart. So that will come in handy.
Plexiglass.
Yeah, it's plexiglass, but it's a nice self-contained and holds it really well. All right, so we have 6 maps of varying terrain types. You've got the moon. You've got villages. Oh. We can make a World War I Nazi zombie.
You're putting them in wrong.
Alright, she's got OCD, so she's going to correct these as I fold them. But I was just thinking, I could make a World War I Nazi zombie type map. There's our winter map. So here's map number 1. Alright, great. So we got 6 maps. Then we had...
The counters.
Was it counters next? I won't put them back in the bag because I'm going to clip them. And they come clipped, but I'm going to run them through my excuse me, through my clipper anyway, just to see if it gets any excess.
And the scenario folder, which is also the
So we got to put
order table.
right here. We got to put the box here so you can see it in the box. And it's also got, well, that's the playbook. So folder with scenarios and the order of battle. Then what was it? The rule book was next.
Rule book.
Then we had
Playbook.
the, how many pages? 20, 29. With an index, 32 pages with an index, rule book. Then we had the 8-page playbook, which was the random scenario generator and a full-length example of play. Yeah, and then very carefully we'll set these cards in because now that they've been freed from their plastic prisons, they're just going to float around until I can sleeve them. There's your 3 decks. Oh, where did I put the dice?
The dice are already in the box.
Gotcha. Try to get it on that one. And there it is. Oh, and no box fart. Good. That is Great War Commander. What do you think?
It's a game.
It is a game.
It has cards. It has maps. It has little pieces the 3-year-old will try to move for us.
Right.
It should be fun.
It'll be fun. Oh, you heard it. That means she'll probably play once.
At least once.
At least once. Very cool. All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. That's Great War Commander. Yeah, so stay tuned for some kind of playthrough, other videos. Very excited to have this, and as you can see, very good looking game. I can't wait to get this onto the table and show it off some more for you. All right, thank you. Bye.